Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday, we've got Eschatos, a shoot 'em up developed by Qute, and released on Steam worldwide by Digica, and it's Qute of course. So this title originally went released on the Xbox 360 back in April of 2011, and we're going and getting the Steam port in September 2015. So I think it's wonderful that we're going and getting even more shoot 'em ups on Steam, so that's definitely great. So what kind of taste will this shoot 'em up go and have? Let's get cooking and find out.
Eschatos.
Alright, here we are at the title screen of Eschatos. So, I've been pronouncing that title wrong the entire time. I've been trying to go and put a C in there when it's apparently the cha sound. Instead of having a cha sound, it has a ka sound, but oh well. So this is the Steam release of this title. It originally came out on the Xbox 360 back in 2001, and we're going and getting the Steam release courtesy of Digica Publishing here in September 18th, 2015 is its release date. So that's like awesome that we're going and starting to get all these Japanese shoot 'em ups going and releasing on the Steam platform. It's going and making it really kind of the premier place to go and be playing shoot 'em ups. So if you're a fan of the shoot 'em ups, make sure you got a decent PC, a nice controller, and you're set. So looking at the options for this one, there's some game settings that we go and have available. I've unlocked the ability to go and increase player stock, so you go and start out with the ability to do 1, 2, and 3. We're just going to go ahead and leave that on the default, which is actually the highest, so that's kind of nice. There's ship type A and ship type B. The only difference that I've noticed in my little bit of play on this title so far is that the only thing that changes between the two is color, so you're welcome to go and select whichever one you like. If there's another difference that I'm missing, by all means, please let me know in the comments below. Sound settings are pretty basic. There's an option I haven't unlocked. Then you've got just your usual volume settings. Screen settings. So this would probably definitely be new to the Steam version of it. You've got the ability to go and play it in full screen or windowed mode, as well as quite a large range of screen resolutions. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it at 1280 by 720 since, well, I render my videos of that, so it just makes it easy. There's also wallpaper options for your borders. You can have them off, or you've got the choice of 3 by default, but I've also unlocked this 4th one as well. We'll go ahead and leave it on 1, so I actually think that's super classy. Love the ship design in this game. Wallpaper brightness, overscan, XY position, screen rotation, so you can go and flip the screen so it's not tate. No. Aspect ratio. So a decent number of options there. And then there's also the effect settings. So here you can go and tailor the effects that are turned on in the PC port. So you can go and tailor it to, it looks like we only have 2 defaults here. The mid-end default and the low-end default. My rig, which I would definitely go and say is a little bit more towards the low end, goes and handles things just fine on the medium end default. So it goes and scales pretty well. Then you've got your controller settings. So you have the ability to go and play with a keyboard should you so desire, or you can totally go and use a controller, which I highly recommend. Report, so you can go and kind of look at what you've gone and accomplished, your number of plays, and how much you're going and achieving as far as levels are concerned. So there is a level up system where you go and score, as you score points, you go and increase your option level, and it goes and unlocks more options in the option settings, which is really neat, as well as additional continues and that sort of thing. So I'm up to 3 continues, that sort of, so that's definitely great. There's also local rankings, leaderboards, and Steam achievements. So, so far, I go and think it's a really solid port. So, if you had any worries or doubts about that, you don't have to go and worry. They seem like they did an excellent job going and porting this from the 360 to the PC. So, let's get started then, shall we? There are 3 game modes available. There's the original, advanced, and time attack. Unfortunately, unlike the 360 version, this does not appear to go and have Qute's 2 WonderSwan titles that were ported to the 360 and on the 360 disc, but minor complaint, and since there's a price difference there, it's totally understandable. Anyway, I haven't put any time into Time Attack, but I have put some time into Original and Advanced, and between the two, I definitely go and prefer the Advanced mode. The difference is primarily it's in scoring. In Original mode, your ship is fully powered, but you have a timer that goes and starts each time a new enemy wave goes and starts coming at you. And the faster you defeat the wave, the more points you go and get. So even the original mode itself is essentially kind of like a score attack mode, which is really neat. But the advanced mode is a little bit more of the way I play and the way I prefer a shoot 'em up to go and be, where your ship starts out weaker, but you go and collect power-ups that go and increase your power. So that's what we'll be going and playing. 3 difficulty modes available from the get-go: easy, normal, hard. There's one that needs to be unlocked, and then an endless mode. So we'll go ahead and play advanced easy. Let's get cooking. So, first off, one thing I want to go and point out, since I recently went and played and did a review on Qute's other Xbox 360 title, Ginga Force, which I do actually hope that goes and comes to Steam. I think that would be great to go and see on Steam, but because of all the voice acting and the extra work that would be involved in going and translating the subtitles and the dialogue, I'm not sure if it will or not. But anyway. As far as differences between the two titles that go and are readily apparent from the get-go, aside from the fact that you've got the usual Qute presentation for Eschatos, you don't go and have any kind of story or characters, dialogue, that sort of thing presented here with Eschatos. It's more of just a pure shoot-'em-up, where you're not worrying about that kind of thing. You're just, I mean, there is a story, but where none of it's really presented in game, it's like really trivial to even worry about it. All we're doing is just worrying about going and shooting enemies. And to an extent, I kind of missed the story that was present in Ginga Force, in addition to a lot of the other systems that Ginga Force 1 had. I think that one's a great title, just as an aside. But that said, if you're looking for a good, pure, straight-up shoot-'em-up, this one is a very serviceable title. So, going and talking about the systems, we'll go and mainly discuss what we have with the ship. So, we go and have 2 shots primarily. There's our front shot, which is long range, goes and covers the entire length of the screen, and is decently powerful. And then there's also our side shot, which is more of a wide range shotgun style approach. Great for weaker enemies and going and running crowd control, but not as effective of going and dealing damage quickly. So there are various power-ups that are going and dropping. The P's are obviously power-ups, and the F's are flash bombs, like I will demonstrate here. The flash bombs go and clear enemies or deal damage if they're stronger enemies, but they go and use up one of your power. So even if you're like in full power, you can go and reduce yourself down pretty quickly by going and using those. Another interesting feature that we go and have in advanced mode that of course isn't present in the original mode due to lack of power-ups is, or specifically the power-up, we have the ship goes and has a shield which can go and absorb enemy shots. But in advanced mode, as we go and collect, or rather, as we use our... sorry, I was on the right thought. As we go and collect or use the flash power-ups to go and clear enemies, our one power goes and gets used each time we go and collect flash, so they can go very, very quickly. Or rather, we can go and lose our shot power very, very quickly. But the counter to that, as we go in and picking up power-ups, the amount of power for our shield goes and decreases. So the more power-ups you go and have, the weaker your shield is, the less time you can go and use it. And another interesting feature of the shield, at least in advanced mode, I didn't notice it in original mode, and the couple times I've gone and played through that. The shield, if you go and use it in advanced mode, you'll go and get point gems generated from all the shots that you go and absorb with it. Let's go and demonstrate here. But I didn't particularly notice that in original mode, so that's one way to go and possibly score attack in advanced mode. So if you're looking to go and increase your point score that way. I need to be doing a little bit better about going and switching between the two shots. So, as far as the game is as far as the game is concerned itself, I'm actually think it's a really good shoot 'em up in the way that it's designed and the way the ship goes and controls your shots. It's just as serviceable, if not more so, from at least a base mechanics perspective than Ginga Force is. Depending on how you go and load out your ship in Ginga Force, you go and sometimes can really hobble yourself. But that said, that's also a lot of the appeal of the title Ginga Force as well. Is you have all that option, all that customizability to your loadout that just isn't present in this title. But I do go and really like the overall visual design of the game. I think the mech design and the fighter in particular are just awesome. Going and using the usual alien tropes for the enemies is super fun and interesting. All the flying saucers, going and having this alien going and retrieving orbs from pyramids, that sort of thing. It definitely goes and shows a decent bit of creativity on the side of Qute's going and putting together this fun little sci-fi story. So the stages themselves are just broken up into areas, and as far as I know, a stage goes and ends when you go and encounter the loading between stages. I would have liked there to go and be some sort of results screen or pause or something there, so it didn't go and feel just so abrupt, but I can also go and understand that. It just breaks the flow of the game ever so slightly. So, minor complaint there. So, that is basically Eschatos. It's definitely... Well, it's more than just a serviceable shoot 'em up. I think it's actually quite a decent title, but it's not going to go, and or at least in my mind, it's not going to go and top Ginga Force for me. I'm still going to go, I would still recommend that one over this title. But especially going and being available on Steam for the low price of $15, I could definitely recommend it at that point. So, that'll about go and wrap it up for me for Shoot 'em Up Saturday today. As always, I would appreciate any suggestions for future Shoot 'em Ups that you might go and possibly go and have. If you do have any, please leave those in the comments below. Once again, this has been Eschatos, new release on Steam. I've definitely gone and enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend, if you're a fan of shoot 'em ups, go and check this one out.